Hey yo, YouTube was good, yo. It's your girl Dom, and I'm back with another video. Look, so we got a video by Be Amazed, and it's the most amazing things that you've never seen before. So, man, I hope that it's something good. I mean, I seen a picture, like the thumbnail, and it was some creepy shit coming out of some trees. So I was like, what? But anyway, make sure you hit that like button, man. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Original link to the video gonna be in the description, and let's go.
Ever wondered what happens when palm trees get so big that they start imposing on people's livelihoods? Well, just ask the daring arborist who risked his life while tackling this
Nope.
100-foot leaning trunk.
Nope. I was about to say, ain't it
Anyone
gonna
else
swing them
feeling
back?
slightly nauseous right now? If you want to hear
Bro.
more about why this guy was sent flying through the air like a cowboy at a rodeo, just stick with me. I've got all that, plus another generous helping of the weird and wonderful in this episode of things you'll see for the first time in your life.
Hold up. Hey, can I go back? Well, I mean, one of them pictures, there was some creepy shit coming out of trees, and I was like, whoa,
We've all
what is
heard
that?
horror stories about what goes on behind the scenes of big fast food chains like McDonald's. From McNuggets being made from pink goop and Big Macs containing eyeballs, most of these rumors turn out to be just that, rumors. But what about the age-old tale about how a McDonald's burger never rots? Let me ask you this. How old do you think this hamburger is? Looks pretty fresh, right? Wrong. Take a look.
So you want to see my hamburger. It goes in a box in my closet. This is the sack that it came in, and it was advertising a NASCAR race in 1996. So this dates
96.
the hamburger in its sack to 24 years old now.
24
Yep,
years.
that hamburger is actually a whopping 24 years old. According to its proud owner, seen here in this viral TikTok by @AliSherb, the burger was purchased back in 1996 and even came in a bag with a NASCAR advertisement on it. As you can see, the
Yo. Ew.
bread doesn't have a speck of mold on it, and the patty itself isn't rotten or decayed in any way. Although there's no word on what happened to the salad, if there ever was any. What's more, the fries it came with seem to be in tip-top condition too.
The French fries look like they maybe could have fallen under your seat a month or so ago. They've never rotted or decayed.
When McDonald's caught wind of the video, they had this to say. In the right environment, our burgers, like most other foods, could decompose. In that case, why hasn't
In the right environment, our burgers, like most other foods, could decompose. That mean they already knew it didn't. Yo, the McDonald's be on some shit, bro.
this ancient burger gone bad? Well, let's not forget that the burger has been kept within a sealed box inside a closet all those years. Without
True,
sufficient
but
moisture,
still.
the hamburger, like most other foods, has been left to dehydrate and is therefore unlikely to grow mold or bacteria or decompose. In other words, it may still look the same, but it certainly isn't worth eating. It seems like people are constantly spreading rumors about McDonald's and its
24
competitors,
years
but there's one
old
place you can
burger.
always come.
My question is, what made her keep the burger? Like, you've had it for 24 years. You just kept the burger in your closet for 24 years. Come on now.
For the most genuinely amazing
Come on
facts
now.
around. Right here on this channel, duh.
Come
To
on
stay in the
now.
loop, all you've got to do is hit those like and subscribe buttons. All done? Let's keep it moving, people. I think we can all agree that 2020 has been a pretty sucky year. Thanks to new social distancing rules, pretty much any event involving big crowds, like live TV and sports games, have gone ahead with a significantly reduced audience, if they weren't canceled altogether. So when the Denver Broncos prepared for their game with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on the 27th of September, only 5,700 socially distanced people were allowed into the stadium. But an unlikely savior stepped forward to fill the void left by the packed-out screaming fans. South Park. That's right, the long
Hell nah. I know they didn't make South Park in there. I know they didn't do that. They put South Park characters.
American sitcom helped fill the Broncos Stadium by sending in 1,800 cardboard character cutouts of recognizable faces like Stan, Cartman, Kyle, and Kenny to fill the stands. South Park's partnership with the Broncos was part of a promotion for the show's Pandemic Special episode, which aired on September 30th. And you'll even notice that every single one of the cardboard cutouts was also wearing their own mask. There's really no excuse, people. A stadium packed out with cardboard South Park characters is a pretty smart solution to an absent sporting audience, but I'm not so sure.
I don't know if it's smart more than funny. I mean, I guess you could call it smart. It's smart advertising.
Concert attendees would be quite as effective. So is there any way to save the live music scene? Being packed in like sardines in a room full of sweaty people certainly seems like a bad idea, but what do you make of this ingenious solution? Talk about your own personal space bubble. American rock band The Flaming Lips put together this totally unique concert experience by encasing themselves and their fans inside inflatable bubbles for the duration of a trial live show in September 2020. Check it out. The show was held at the Criterion Music Venue in Oklahoma City. It normally has a capacity of 3,500 people, but it was filled with 100 inflatable orbs instead. It makes sense for the Flaming Lips to be the first to try this wacky concert solution, because frontman Wayne Coyne has always been known to do things a little differently at his shows. In fact, Wayne has been crowd surfing over fans in his own personal bubble for more than 15 years.
I was just... See? I am smart. I was just saying, make it easy to crowd surf. Definitely makes it easy to crowd surf. Most likely a little safer too. Nobody has to touch you. They're just touching the bubble.
Got married and won in 2019.
Okay, so this is just the real life bubble boy, basically. This nigga just, he likes bubbles.
Flaming Lips show may look incredibly futuristic, but there's a chance this could actually be the future of live music.
No, because look at all them things are fogged up because they hot behind breath. They all dancing and sweaty in they little bubbles. You gonna come out soaking wet from sweat. And, ooh. How does the air vent in these bubbles, bro? I'm good.
Does this look like your kind of party? If you guys have come across anything equally as weird, wonderful, or downright amazing that should be totally shared with the internet, go ahead and send any footage or images you find online to clips@beamazed.com. You might even earn yourself a shout out if it gets featured in the next episode. Now let's get back to it. The great outdoors is full of creepy crawlies. You may shiver at the thought of spiders or cockroaches, but even the strongest stomachs would be repulsed by this horrifying sight. But what
That's
exactly
the picture I saw. That picture right there is the picture that I saw when I was like, oh, what the hell is that? That's so creepy. What kind of trees is those? I guess I should have let them tell me, right? Yeah, you're right. Let's go.
You're looking at a log full of wriggling worms, perhaps? Well, not quite. These repulsive creatures are known as shipworms, but they're not really worms at all. Instead, the shipworm is technically a type of clam. These strange invertebrate have a tiny calciferous casing from which erupts a skinny tube of flesh that can be up to 2 feet long. But if shipworms are supposedly marine creatures, what are they doing burrowing deep inside trees? Although they are mostly found in saltwater environments, shipworms can easily get into trees that have washed out to sea or trees in marine environments like mangrove swamps. They begin by drilling a tiny hole into the wood, either by releasing special enzymes to break down the tissue or by scraping away at it with their shells. Shipworms can digest wood thanks to special symbiotic bacteria which is stored in their gills, breaking down the wood's cellulose into sugars. They might not be directly harmful to humans, but throughout history there have been many stories about these so-called shipworms wreaking total havoc. They terrorize.
So Bespoke Post, they just send you a cool box every month.
Dude just took the clam to the face. Don't think I didn't notice that. I did notice dude just take the whole clam just to the face, bro. Like, that shit was raw too. No, cook that joint for me, please, and thanks.
The Romans and ancient Greek navies and ate away at 2 of Columbus's ships on his 4th voyage to the Caribbean so badly that he had to abandon them. In 1731, the creatures even brought the Dutch economy to its knees when they chomped their way through over 30 miles of wooden dikes. But humans have had their tasty revenge. You see, raw shipworms plucked straight from the wood are a staple in diets around the world. Do you fancy slurping one down like spaghetti?
No.
Everyone knows that cheetahs are the
If it was
fastest
cooked, like I
animals in the
said,
world, with a top
probably.
recorded speed of between 109.4 to 120.7 kilometers an hour.
AKA
But
fast as
there
shit.
are a couple of unexpected critters that could probably give these big cats a run for their money. Just watch this tiny crab go. Blink and you'll miss him.
Oh,
Believe
shit.
it or not, this clip hasn't been sped up in any way. If you've ever walked along the beaches of Western Australia, you may have seen large burrows high up on the shore near the high tide line and beyond into the dunes.
That's
Your chances of
crazy.
spotting the culprit during the daytime
That
are pretty slim,
motherfucker's fast
but
as
at
hell.
dusk it will emerge. The ghost crab. Besides their pale coloring and nocturnal habits, their ghostly name comes from their ability to appear and disappear in a flash. Ghost crabs spend the majority of their time in their meter-deep burrows, but they need to return to the ocean periodically to re-wet their gills and release their larvae. And considering their small size, they might just be one of the speediest animals around. The horn-eyed ghost crab,
That
one of
was
Australia's
fast.
most notable species, has been clocked in at around 7.5 kilometers an hour. It may not sound like much, but that
For a
means these crabs
crab.
are actually moving at around 100 body lengths per second. For some perspective, the fastest human sprinters can only reach speeds of 11 body lengths per second, and cheetahs almost double that at 20 body lengths per second. That means that if ghost crabs were of comparable size, they'd probably reach speeds of around 340 and 530 kilometers an hour respectively. Now, there's a
God
terrifying
dang.
thought. We've all seen places like Niagara Falls and the Great Wall of
I'm
China in
glad the
movies
things are
before,
little.
but what about the lesser-known gems of the world, like these eye-popping formations? It
Ooh, that
might
look
seem like you're
dope.
looking at the terrain of an alien planet, but this otherworldly feat of nature can actually be found here on Earth. These impressive ridges and valleys, known as salt glaciers, exist in the Zagros Mountains in southwestern Iran. Millions of years ago, the Persian Gulf was a much larger body of water than it is today. But as the water evaporated and the shores of the sea retreated, it left behind vast quantities of salt.
Excuse me.
And when this layer of salt became covered with other sediments and washed down from the mountains by rainwater, the sediment layer began to thicken over time. As it became compacted and weighed down on the salt layer underneath, something incredible happened. You see, under these conditions, salt behaves like a fluid, leading to a strange behavior known as salt tectonics. In this case, the weight of thousands of feet of sediments and rock pushing down on the salt layer caused the salt to push up through the overlying rocks, forming spectacular salt glaciers like these.
That is
Nowhere
dope.
else in the world can such an immense collection of salt glaciers be found, and the area is even being considered as a World Heritage Site. Just wait until those little green Martians see this.
That's dope.
With their bushy tails, goofy front teeth, and incredible nose for nuts, you can't help but love squirrels. And if you're quiet and cautious enough, you might even be able to get up close with one. Just take a look at this adorable clip. When a guy patiently
I don't know if I could do that. I'm not. I don't trust squirrels. That's just me, bro. I don't trust them enough.
holds out his palm full of fresh snacks, a cutesy little squirrel runs up and starts tucking in. And then this happens. Whoa, what happened there? Did he forget he'd left the iron on at home? Did he
Nah,
suddenly
child,
realize
he
he's actually
saw
got a nut
something.
allergy?
Or he
Did
heard something.
Squirrel.exe just stop responding? You're probably thinking, why did no one tell me squirrels can freeze in time like that? Well, suppose you're a small animal that might look like a tasty snack to a larger predator, and you happen to stumble upon said larger predator. What do? If you're a skunk, you might spray toxic liquid. If you're a cat, you might make your hair stand up to appear bigger. Other animals, like opossums, might play dead. But these animals also have another lesser seen tactic. They freeze. And when a squirrel, rabbit, or chipmunk freezes, it can appear completely motionless for minutes at a time.
Okay.
Their ability to freeze
That's
works
what I
as
was-
an effective defense.
I was about to say he heard something. He was like, wait. You know, black people do the same thing. I saw this TikTok about that the other day. Yes, we do. We hear a strange noise. Wait till we hear it again. All right. That's what I thought.
Defense tactic because a predator's attack behavior could actually be triggered by motion. Stick a frog in a box with a bunch of dead flies and it'll probably starve to death. But the minute you start moving those flies around, it'll start gulping them down like there's no tomorrow. And if you listen closely to this clip, it seems like Mr. Squirrel here might have heard something, possibly a bird or snake, in the grass nearby. The response to freeze is completely hardwired, and it seemed to work for this guy. Go ahead and try it now. It's not as easy as it looks.
Yep. We heard some.
It may surprise you to learn that we have a better knowledge of the surface of Mars and the Moon than we do of the bottom of the ocean. There may not be much life so far away in space, but the vast and unexplored depths beneath the waves are teeming with bizarre creatures that are yet to be discovered. That is until ocean explorers come across something as incredible as this.
What the fuck is that?
Is it a...
What the fuck is that? Bro, look, it got like horns. Like, what the fuck is that? And then it got the little, like, the damn bull drawn, like, bro. What?
A bird? Is it a plane? Is it a squid? This seriously confusing creature was first discovered back in 2018 in the Gulf of Mexico during a research trip taken by the NOAA ship Okeanos Explorer. The squid, which was discovered in the mesopelagic zone at a depth of 850 meters, was unlike anything marine biologists had ever seen before. As you can see, its arms and legs were folded to such an extreme degree that it barely resembled a squid at all. In fact, Mike Vecchione, one of the NOAA biologists on the trip, said that his first reaction when they spotted it was, "What the hell is that?" After getting a proper look at the creature, the researchers believe it may be a mysterious squid called Discotethys discus, which has only been known.
How you know that? How do you know that? Where did you get that name from? Discotethys, Discotethys discus. Somebody's lying here.
Known previously
Somebody just made that shit up.
from dead, incomplete specimens. But because they didn't collect the squid, they only have the footage for now. As for that weird posture, it could be an attempt to camouflage itself by mimicking something else, a sign of illness, or a way to optimize food collection of debris falling through the ocean. But until further dives can reveal more details, it seems like this twisted squid will remain one of the many great mysteries of the deep. If there's one thing the Victorians love to do, it's
That shit look creepy.
Just ask Queen Victoria herself. In fact, they were such avid weepers that they even supposedly cried into these delicate glass bottles called tear catchers. During the 19th century, and especially in America during and after the Civil War, tear catchers like these, also known as lacrimatory bottles, were used as a measure of grieving time. The concept was simple. Once the tears cried into them had evaporated, the mourning period was over. It's an amusing chapter of history to think about, but here's the catch. There's actually no such thing as a Victorian tear catcher. So what are these strangely ornate blown glass bottles really for? Tests carried out on the patterned flasks have shown that rather than holding tears, they were simply used to hold perfumes, smelling salts, essential oils like rose oil, and other similar ointments. These disposable bottles would be used for transporting such...
That was the olden day dab pen. That shit. Hell no. Look like a goddamn crack pipe. I'm just saying, bruh. Go crack inside like that before couple. Hey.
Such scents back from local pharmacies to be decanted into their
Hell
own
no.
perfume bottle. The whole tear catcher myth probably began with archaeologists and an oddly chosen term. You see, small glass bottles were often found in Greek and Roman tombs, which early scholars romantically dubbed lacrimatories, or tear bottles, and so the term stuck. Although the myth has long been disproved, you can still find these bottles in online auctions, flea markets, and antique stores where they're advertised as vintage tear catchers. Am I the only one who thinks the idea could still totally catch on? Hey, here's a question for you. Why did the bear cross the road?
He is a fat bear. Oh my god, the Gina bear.
He's so chunky. There's a lot more over here on this left side. Oh, there's one too. They're everywhere.
Judging by the look of this absolute beast, I'd say there was an all-you-can-eat buffet on the other side. This ginormous grizzly was spotted by Justin Minton and his wife during their 2-month honeymoon in September 2020 while visiting the Yellowstone Bear World Sanctuary in Idaho.
Yeah.
It might seem like this chunky specimen stole all the picnic baskets he could find,
Not all the
but according
picnic
to Minton,
baskets.
the bear's weight is partly due
Hey,
to the fact
boo-boo.
that he has an injury to his left rear leg,
Aw.
which also explains why he is limping slightly as he strolls casually across the path. But there's another reason why bears, and not just this one, start to pile on the pounds around this time of the year. You see, North
about to
American brown
hibernate.
bears, also known as grizzly bears, need to constantly bulk up during all of their waking months to store enough body fat to get through hibernation. These enormous creatures hibernate for half the year, between 5 and 7 months, so they need to make sure they stay nourished and don't waste away during that period. When they awaken from their slumber, they will have lost around 15 to 30% of their total body weight. To prepare for that loss, the average grizzly bear can eat around 90 pounds of food every day,
Dang.
gaining more than 2 pounds per day to store up to 10 inches of fat all over his body. I think it's safe to say that this chubby bear isn't going to have any problems this winter.
He is a fat bear. Oh my god, the Gina
He's
bear.
so
I
chunky.
hope his leg heals up.
Whether you're
By that
curling
time, I
or
mean, it should.
punching,
In the cold,
running
it
or
probably would heal
riding,
up real quick.
lifting,
It probably would heal up real quick.
There's a lot more over here on this left side. Oh, there's one too. They're everywhere.
I don't think I would go to a bear sanctuary.
There are plenty of things you've never thought to ask yourself before,
Just
like
me.
what happens when a palm tree gets too tall? Well, as is the case with most imposing trees, a tree surgeon is generally called in to help fix the problem, by cutting the thing down, preferably. And that's exactly what happened in San Bernardino, California in October 2020 when a daring arborist was called in to chop off some fronds from a whopping 100-foot palm tree, which could have caused some serious damage if it had fallen. He starts by cautiously shimmying his way up to the tip of the tree, which starts to bend dangerously under his weight. Then he takes out his saw, prepares to cut, and
You knew he had to hold on. He knew he had to hold on. Oh my. Whew.
boing.
Oh.
The poor
Okay.
guy ends up swinging back and forth through the air while clinging onto the leaning trunk as if he's performing some death-defying circus act. But how did this enormous tree turn into a man-sized catapult? Well, palm trees are super flexible because they aren't actually made of wood and are instead closer in nature to a tall grass. Most trees lay down rings as they grow every year, but instead some of a palm tree's cells are malleable and others can easily flex and then return to their original position. This lack of a conventional structure is what makes them so well adapted to the gentle island breezes that can easily accelerate into violent hurricanes. I'm just wondering how that guy got up the tree so easily with his coconut-sized kahunas.
Bro. No.
Ants may be some of the
No.
smallest creatures in the world, but they're also some of the most impressive. Besides
like
being able to
ants, I'm
lift
not
up to
gonna lie.
5,000 times their own body weight, they are
I
also
was a little weird
masters of
for that.
teamwork. Within each colony, every single ant has a part to play, and if that means becoming the door to their own nests,
I follow this YouTube show called, I think, Ants Canada. Like, it's weird. I'll watch ants like for hours. It's weird. Like, I think it's dope though. That's just me.
so be it. These saucer-headed ants belong to the cephalotes genus of tree-dwelling ant species more
What the
commonly
fuck
known.
is that? Nigga got a hat on? It looked like a deformed Reese cup on the top.
As turtle ants. Because these ants use multiple carved nesting cavities found in the trees that they live in, a cohort of specially evolved soldiers have developed perfectly shaped plate-like heads for plugging up entryways. With tunnels in short supply due to the ground and their natural habitats being flooded, invader ants and parasites often find turtle ant tunnels to be attractive targets for raids. So the sole job of these living wine corks is to jam their heads into the entryway of their nests and refuse to budge should any unwanted guests come knocking.
Wow.
No matter how crummy your life may seem, just be thankful you weren't born a literal door ant. Pigeons may not be a popular choice for the world's most beloved animals, but have you ever seen one with a natural perm before? These beautiful birds, known as frillback pigeons, are believed to have originated in Asia somewhere and have since been developed over many years.
So Bespoke Post, they just send you a cool box every month.
It's like the pigeon's feathers had feathers.
Years of selective.
It's like the pigeon's feathers have feathers. This shit is crazy. He talking about a perm. A Caucasian perm. But that, wow. I've never seen that bird a day in my life. I've never seen no bird look like that. Yo. That's crazy.
Breeding as a domesticated breed of show pigeon. As you can probably tell, the breed is known for the distinctive curls or frill on the wing shield feathers. These attractive birds are one of the most coveted breeds among pigeon fanciers and are prized both for their relatively calm temperament as well as their appearance. As you can see in this clip by Pigeons TV, they come in several different colors from white with blonde curls to white and black, white and brown, and many more. They're slightly larger than other pigeon breeds with longer tails and wing feathers, and it's no surprise that they're a shoo-in at pigeon beauty contests. Because yes, those do exist. Some have questioned whether their fancy curls affect the bird's flight, but apparently they can fly just fine, although they prefer to walk. Anyone else have a sudden urge to pick one up and
There's like pigeon beauty contests, bro. Now I gotta find a pigeon beauty contest, bro. Why do you two do this? This is gonna be funny as shit. You let me find a pigeon beauty contest on YouTube, bro. I'm going to die laughing. Hell no.
stroke it like an evil genius? How old were you when you first learned to ride a bike?
No.
While some people are terrified of putting their faith in two wheels, others are confident enough to take on incredible cycling feats like this.
Yo.
Anyone else suddenly feel a little faint after watching that?
Yo,
The star of this clip is Austrian athlete, cyclist
that a
extraordinaire, and all-around daredevil, Tom Oehler. This gravity-defying footage may be a real nail-biter to watch from the comfort of your own home, but Oehler is no stranger to this kind of high-octane stuff.
No.
In fact, Oehler specializes in purpose-built trial bikes and began competing in 1997 at the age of 14. He made his first international appearance in 1998 and became Austrian champion just 2 years later. Since then, he swept up a whole host of awards and achievements, including setting 2 Guinness World Records during the Bike Infection event in Capron, Austria. Trial biking is a sport that's all about balance and poise rather than speed and power, so bikes need to be built as lightweight and maneuverable as possible to be able to tackle tricky obstacles and courses. Even though he's a total pro, Oehler admits that this stair set at the Dolomiti mountain range in the Italian Alps is one of the scariest feats he's ever attempted. There wasn't even enough room for the handlebar, so he had to tuck it to the side to make sure he didn't hit the rock face. I think it goes without saying, but seriously, don't try this one at home.
You ain't gotta worry about me doing that, bro. That last one was crazy. Dude, you would not see me doing that. Dude was like literally on the side of a mountain. One wrong move, bro, you done. Bro. Crazy. Anyway, bro, let me know what you thought of that video. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, bro. Why does it sound like that every time? Make sure you hit that like and that subscribe button. Peace, man.